So I'll tell you exactly what I did to finally figure out what the hell am I gonna do with my life. Let's jump straight into it. It's a bit about me. I have my own construction company at the age of 20. I'm working with one of the best builders in New Jersey. And also I'm in my third year of finishing college for civil engineering. If you're wondering how in the world do I have time for all of this, I honestly don't know. What I can tell you is the exact same process which I went through to finally decide what I'm gonna do with my life. So it all started when I was 16 years old. At this time I had no idea what I wanted to do in my life. My parents obviously were pushing me really hard towards finishing school and getting a degree, but I had no idea what the degree was gonna be. It only lasted until I started watching people in YouTube making money with online sales, aka dropshipping. That was in 2018. Instantly I fell in love with the game of business. But now, the idea of finishing school and getting a degree was becoming less and less attractive. I know what you're thinking. How did you go from school isn't important to civil engineering degree? Wait, I promise you I'm getting there. So after I saw all these people online making a bunch of money with dropshipping, or so it appeared, I could have been lied to 1,000 times already. I instantly began doing research and I opened my very first online dropshipping store myself. I instantly felt cooler than everybody else. Now I had so much to talk about, more than everybody else. It was very exciting, but, this is a really strong but, I wasn't making any money. Matter of fact, I lost money with this crap because I did exactly what everybody else does. They see a shining gold lamp, everybody goes towards that lamp, they try it for 1 week or so, and if it doesn't work, then the entire idea doesn't work. So the great thing about myself is I didn't completely give up. After my failed attempt at dropshipping store, I started looking into opening my own social media agency, and after that I tried 2 more dropshipping stores. Long story short, I speed ran through those in about 6 months, and I ended up with a gross profit of $0. Now, obviously all of these attempts were eating pretty much all of the money that I was making at the time working at Walmart. So I became desperate and turned my focus right back to school. I was graduating in 3 months, and after an analytical sit down with myself about my strengths and weaknesses in this school thing, I decided I was going to be an electrical engineer. Specifically why? Because my uncle told me the future is going to be full of technology and I need to make myself important in order to keep those machines running. So, make myself important, become an engineer. I found out they make a bunch of money. Kind of gives you a cool title. So I said, you know what? I'm in. Let's do it. So I started college and went all in towards getting my degree in electrical engineering until I started paying attention to the construction industry. You see, at the time my dad was working as a day-to-day laborer at Union, and one day he came home and he was telling me about how much money these guys are making with their own construction company. But he had been completely against the idea of me ever going into the construction field. After I did some research, I came to the conclusion that it's not rocket science to run a construction company. Most of the things I already knew from my previous failed attempts at business, like advertising, getting customers, and things like that. Long story short, I brought my dad the idea of opening our own construction company. He instantly said no because he had the fear of me drifting away from school, and also he knew that I was only 18 years old and this was probably one of my other failed business ideas at life, and it wasn't going well. Anyway, after convincing him, we ended up opening the company, and I quickly realized that this was way harder than I anticipated. I had to learn sales, I had to speak to people, I had to do all of this other different operations that I wasn't familiar with. Running a construction company was tough. I mean, you have to deliver quality, you need to do all of these things. It is not as easy as just sitting behind your computer. If something goes wrong, you take a few days to fix it. No, something goes wrong in construction, your phone is constantly ringing, you risk getting sued and all those other things. Anyway, what ended up happening was I started getting good at running the business and my dad was handling all the labor, but the same exact thing my dad said will happen started happening. I was drifting away from school. Electrical engineering was somewhat in the construction field, but it was still something completely different from what I was doing on a daily basis. So it was time for another analytical sit down with myself. At this point, my whole thinking process had changed to analytical thinking and the problem solving. So engineering was still the best choice for me at school. So at this point, I just changed direction. Instead of going electrical, I went civil. As soon as I made that change, my whole life purpose started to make sense. I finally knew exactly what to do, the steps I needed to make, and if all goes well, I can make a really great living for myself and my family. So, after my path became crystal clear, I began searching for as much knowledge as I possibly can to help me exceed, which is why I started working with a builder. He has been through thick and thin. 40 years of experience in construction field, not everybody can do it. And being able to learn alongside him while applying his real life lessons into my business in real time has been a blessing. I'm extremely grateful to have found my path. For anyone struggling from personal experience, I'll tell you, sit down, analyze your life as a whole, figure out the kind of lifestyle you want to live, and make sure it's bringing you cash for you and your family, obviously. Anyway, thank you for watching. Catch you at the next one.